So over the last 3 months, I became almost obsessed with becoming a better YouTuber. So I went onto YouTube and I searched how to grow a following on YouTube, how to get subscribers on YouTube, how to get views on YouTube. And I found hundreds of tutorials and videos. And at first I set a criteria. I will watch every video from beginning to end, no matter how long, if this person has some credibility. So if he had at least 50,000 subscribers, I would watch their entire video. And sometimes they went full throttle. They did 30, 40-minute videos and I watched the entire thing. And soon I found out there was hundreds of these videos, from anywhere from a channel with 100,000 subscribers to YouTube channels with millions of subscribers. And I watched all of these videos, and there were hundreds of them, and I watched them all from beginning to end. Once I finished all that, then I started searching for more content, and I started digging for content. And I found content that most people would not find. Stuff like interviews of some of the most subscribed YouTubers of all time, where maybe 40 minutes into the interview, they ask one question on YouTube and how to grow a following and how to, do well on there. And you get some very, very valuable insight that's not mentioned anywhere else. And on and on and on, it's a long story, but you get the point. And so in this video, I want to distill the most common things that all these hundreds of YouTubers have mentioned. The most common things that they have all said as the biggest points of advice that they can give you. And if you guys don't realize, YouTube is a growing platform. More and more people are hitting the 1 million subscriber mark every single month. There's over 1,200 YouTube channels with over 1 million subscribers each, and that number is growing every month. So let's just get to it. The number one thing that they say that you need to do is consistency. I've heard this like 50 times. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And it's kind of true. YouTube is like this platform where they subscribe to get more content. So if you take like a 2-month break, like what's the point of them subscribing? And this is something that I think I have more of an advantage on the average person, because I've seen so many channels who have gotten more success than I have initially. Like they've literally gotten 10,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time from zero. And then they drop the ball because they're lazy, or they don't see the potential, or they don't realize the head start that they've gotten, or the luck that's befallen them, or whatever else. And guess what happens? They take a 6-month break or a 5-month break, or they just stop posting videos for whatever reason. And for me, that's the one advantage I can capitalize on to make up for my lack of talent. Because I know that despite my crappy video editing skills, my crappy video delivery, maybe the lack of value my videos provide, the one thing I can do is hustle more than the next person. And I'll be there to post a video every week when someone drops the ball. And some of these channels, some of these 1 million subscriber channels have yet to drop the ball for the last 3 years. They've posted a video at the very least once a week for many years. And then the second thing, okay, let's go to number 2. The second thing that they all say, or most of them say, is authenticity. So basically what they say is that YouTubers and people who watch YouTube, they have a high BS detection rate. Now, I don't know if that's actually true, because there is a certain amount of BS that goes through and people don't notice. But what they're saying here is that you have to be authentic, you have to be real. And, I can't really bottle it down to one specific reason. Some people say that they see through it being fake, or that because YouTube is such a, community interaction thing, it's something where the audience really wants a sense of the real you, and they want a real connection and a relationship. And faking a persona can only work for so long. Now, having said all this, I see exceptions to both of these first two rules, which gets us to point number 3. I studied thousands of YouTube channels for fun. And one thing I would do on a daily basis, sometimes just for fun, is I will go to the most subscribed chart for YouTube. And I don't do this on a daily basis. I'm not that big of a nerd. But every few days, for fun, if I have the time, I will just go on there and I'll pick out a few new channels that I haven't come across. And I'll look at them and study them and see what they do, how they title stuff, how they thumbnail stuff, how often they post, what they post about, all that sort of crap. And sometimes, once you see so many channels, so many successful channels, you will find exceptions to the rule out there. A lot of exceptions to the rule. Having said that, there's still a minority percentage of people who don't follow these rules that these YouTube gurus have given as advice. However, there are exceptions out there. So I think that's the number 3 point that is not mentioned by any of these people, which is that rules can be broken. Now, if you're someone who has like 5 views per video and 5 subscribers, most likely I would advise you to follow the rules, because there's a lot of arrogant people out there who are like, I'm going to just break all the rules. And it's like, well, sometimes the rules do help. But having said that, there's quite a few exceptions. CPG Gray, I think that's his name. CPG Gray, he's one of those people who doesn't post that frequently. Sometimes it'll be like, it'll be like a 2-week absence. And oftentimes I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but it's probably because his videos require a lot of time and energy to create, and it can't be, released as frequently as he or she may want. And then there's the authenticity thing where, the rule is kind of broken. The 2 biggest that come to mind are Miranda Sings and Fred. Now, both of these channels are persona channels, and very blatantly persona channels. Now, Miranda Sings as well as Fred, they both have videos or vlog channels where they're their actual authentic selves. However, their big moneymaker came from being these personas, very comical, obvious personas, but nonetheless personas and characters. So, is it a hard and fast rule? No, but I think other than that, I do think a certain level of authenticity does work. And then, at the same time, there's a lot of channels also that where, it's not a personality channel. There's no person there. It's just, film or footage or really cool action scenes. So that's different. But again, for a lot of these personality channels, I do see a lot of authenticity where they're just being how they are off camera. And that seems to be working very well. So those are the big things that are mentioned. Obviously, there's a bunch of other things that I've picked up on and a bunch of other advice, but those are the big ones. And the other stuff are stuff like lighting, titling, how to properly title the videos. Should you use caps locks? Should you use caps locks? All that sort of crap. And the final one I want to throw in as just like a little bonus is custom thumbnails. I have yet to meet or see a successful YouTube channel that has over 1 million subscribers who does not use a custom thumbnail. Like, there's like maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, but for the most part, this is probably one of the biggest ones. They all use custom thumbnails, and like 80 to 90% of the time, they are really, really beautiful. Photoshop, PicMonkey, however they edited it, they do very good custom thumbnails. So, people say that thumbnail hacking has kind of died and it doesn't work anymore. ever since a few years ago when YouTube changed its algorithm to favor watch time so that people wouldn't just put up misleading thumbnails. However, at the same time, I'm still seeing, and again, this comes from watching a ton of YouTube videos of all different types of genres. I'm still seeing the power of thumbnails. Like literally, I still see it a lot. A great example, I mean, there's a bunch, but certain vlog channels, certain very successful vlog channels, as well as very successful Vine channels. So there's these channels that do Vine compilations, which basically means that they take the best Vines from the platform Vine, which are these like 6-second skit videos, and they compile it together and they release like 10-20 minute videos onto YouTube. And I would say they oftentimes use very sexually appealing clickbait YouTube thumbnails, and guess what happens? You get a lot of comments down below that say, oh, I came for the thumbnail, I came for a thumbnail. So I think it's a mixture nowadays of, having a certain level of subscriber base already to push your video up to a certain amount of views, and then having a appeasing thumbnail to attract new people who don't know about you, and then having at least decently good content to keep them drawn in. That's my theory. Anyhow, that's all I gotta say. And obviously there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm just gonna do like the quick 10-second explanation. Lighting, very important. If you can't afford it, use sunlight. That works really well. Wake up in the morning. Tagging, still well worth doing. Descriptions, well worth doing. For vlogs and certain types of videos, all caps in the titling and maybe a few exclamation points work really well. That's all I gotta say. As always, like and subscribe. See you later. Peace.